What is this a tomorrow we cling to? It is a mere shadow, a promise that never arrives in reality. You see, life is not a distant destination waiting for you in the future. Life is the breath you take right now, the sensations you feel this very instant. To live as if there is a tomorrow is to live in illusion, an illusion that disconnects you from the only truth that ever exists, this moment. We waste so much of our life preparing for a tomorrow. We tell ourselves, I will start then, or I will change someday. But what is a someday? But what is a someday? It is an empty word, a trick our mind plays to keep us from facing what is real right now. The truth is, there is no tomorrow waiting for you. When tomorrow arrives, it instantly becomes now, nothing more than this fleeting moment passing by. If you understand this deeply, your entire relationship with life will transform. You will stop postponing joy, growth and love. You will stop delaying the things that matter because you realize that the only time you truly have is right now. When you live with this awareness, every moment is precious. Every breath, every heartbeat becomes an opportunity to experience life in its fullness. Why do we suffer? Because we live somewhere else, in the regrets of the past or the hopes of the future. But the present is where life happens, and if you're not fully here, you miss it. You miss the beauty, the pain, the depth of existence itself. There is no tomorrow to make things right, there is only now. So wake up, live as if today is the only day you have. Because in the grand dance of life, tomorrow never comes. Only this moment, this very breath, this now. If you grasp this, life will no longer be a waiting room. It will be a vibrant, alive experience where you are completely and beautifully present. There is an urgency that most people fail to recognize because they live as if life is an endless river flowing far away from them. But the truth is that this river is not somewhere else. It is right here, right now, moving through every cell of your body, and when you pay attention, you realize that each moment is a precious fragment of existence that will never return again. To ignore this immediacy is to sleepwalk through life, caught in the illusion that tomorrow will somehow give you the time to live fully, to love deeply, or to find the peace you seek. But tomorrow is a mirage that shifts as you approach it, leaving you with only the fragments of a life half lived. When you truly see that the present moment is all you have, a profound shift occurs within you, dissolving the mental walls that separate you from the richness of existence. And in that space, you become aware that every breath you take is a gift, a doorway into the vastness of life itself, waiting to be explored without hesitation or delay. It is this realization that awakens a fierce urgency to live with awareness, because to wait is to surrender the most precious thing you possess, and now which is simultaneously fragile and infinitely powerful, capable of healing, creating and transforming the course of your journey if you allow it. Most of us waste this urgency because the mind clings to the comfort of the familiar future, planning and postponing as if life is a ledger of tasks to complete at some later date. But this approach blinds us to the sacredness of the present moment, where joy, sorrow and meaning unfold naturally. And it is in this unfolding that life is truly alive and vibrant beyond any concept or expectation that you might hold. To live with urgency does not mean rushing through life blindly. Rather, it means embracing the immediacy of now with full attention and respect, so that every action you take, no matter how small, carries the weight and grace of presence. When urgency is understood as a quality of presence, it removes the fear of incompleteness because you realize that life is not about achieving some distant goal, but about embracing what is here before you, this breath, this feeling, this moment of clarity that opens your eyes to the infinite possibilities within the finite. It is a call to awaken from the trance of delay and distraction and to meet life directly without the filter of I will do it later. Because later is just another name for never, and when the mind is anchored in the now, it no longer allows procrastination to steal the essence of be. There is a beauty in this urgency that is not frantic or desperate, but calm and deep, like the stillness at the heart of a storm, reminding you that life is fleeting and precious, and that every second you live fully is a second that cannot be lost or taken away from you. When you live with this understanding, your relationship with time changes completely, and you begin to cherish each moment, not as a hurdle to cross or a space to fill, but as a sacred opportunity to taste the richness of existence without reservation or distraction. This urgency also dissolves the boundary between life and death, because you realize that the fear of death is born from a mind that is disconnected from the flow of life. But when you are present, there is no separation and therefore no fear, only an openness to whatever this moment holds. knowing that every moment is both a beginning and an end, a cycle that renews itself endlessly in the dance of… Living with urgency is living in harmony with this dance, moving fluidly with the rhythm of life rather than resisting it. And it is in this fluidity that you find a freedom that is beyond time, beyond thought, beyond all limitations. So let the urgency of the present moment become your guide, your constant companion, reminding you that life is here and it is now in this very breath, this very heartbeat, this very sensation of being alive. And when you allow this urgency to awaken you no longer postpone your living, but dive deeply into the fullness of what is, knowing that the only real time you will ever have is the one unfolding right in front of you, endlessly and beautifully alive. Time is something the mind invents to measure change and sequence events. But beyond this mental construct, there is no time at all, because everything that ever is, ever was or ever will be, exists only as a continuous unfolding in the eternal now. And when you start to see through this illusion, you begin to understand that what we call a time is nothing but a frame we impose on a seamless flow that has no beginning and no end. The past which the mind clings to as memory is already gone, and the future which the mind chases as expectation has not yet arrived. So both are shadows in the mind's theatre, while reality always dances in the immediacy of the present moment that cannot be grasped but can only be lived. The idea that time flows like a river moving forward is a story we tell ourselves to make sense of change. But this story can trap us in a constant hurry to reach a what's next, and in doing so, we'll lose the depth of being that can only be experienced when we stop and rest in the awareness that all moments are one and indivisible, like beads strung together, but actually existing simultaneously in a timeless space that the mind can never fully comprehend because it is always busy counting and comparing. This illusion leads us to believe we have more time than we do, or sometimes that we have no time at all. And both extremes pull us away from simply being present, which is the only place where life truly happens without interruption or distraction or distract. When the mind dissolves the boundary between past, present and future, it wakes up to the truth that life is not a line stretching out endlessly, but a vast ocean in which every wave rises and falls in the same moment, inseparable from the whole. And it is in this ocean of now to live fully now, is to awaken to the reality that this very moment is the only canvas on which your life's colors can be painted. And when you embrace this truth, you begin to understand that no past achievement or future hope can compare to the vibrancy and richness that arises when you are fully engaged with what is here before you. Are you, without hesitation or distraction, allowing your senses, your mind, and your heart to merge seamlessly into the experience of simply being alive. It is in this state of presence that life unfolds in its purest form, free from the clutter of regret or anticipation, and every breath becomes an invitation to dive deeper into the mystery of existence that is always here, waiting for your recognition. Living fully now means shedding the layers of thought that keep you tethered to what was or what might be, because these thoughts are often chains forged by fear, desire or habit. A vast freedom opens up where life is not something to be controlled or managed, but something to be celebrated and embraced with open arms and a curious heart that does not resist what arises but welcomes it as part of the unfolding dance of existence. In this way, every experience, whether joyful or painful, becomes a teacher and a gateway to deeper awareness, inviting you to move beyond the limitations of the mind stories and into the spaciousness of pure presence. To live fully now is to recognize that the fullness of life is not found in external achievements or possessions, but in the quality of your attention and the depth of your connection with what is. Because when you are truly present, even the simplest moments, like the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of a bird's song, or the rhythm of your own heartbeat, become profound and sacred. And this sacredness infuses your entire being with a sense of meaning that no future event can ever recreate. It is this realization that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, and in doing so, life ceases to be a series of tasks to complete and becomes a continuous celebration of existence itself. Living fully now also means embracing vulnerability and impermanence, understanding that everything you cherish is transient and that clinging to permanence only creates suffering. But when you accept life's impermanence with grace, you learn to love more deeply and to appreciate each moment as a precious gift that will never come again in the same way. And in this acceptance, a profound peace arises that anchors you firmly in the present, even amidst change and uncertainty. This peace is not a distant ideal, but a living reality available to you here and now, if only you choose to stop resisting and start experiencing life directly. When you live fully now, your relationship with time changes because you no longer see it as a resource to be saved or spent, but as the very essence of life flowing through you, moment by moment. And this flow cannot be captured or held, but only honored by your full participation and presence. Which means you become an active creator of your reality, rather than a passive observer waiting for something to happen in the future. This creative presence brings a vitality and aliveness to everything you do, turning even the most mundane activities into opportunities for joy, discovery, and growth. Because when you are fully present, life reveals itself in its infinite variety and beauty without needing to be changed or fixed. Living fully now invites you to cultivate mindfulness and awareness in every aspect of your life, not as a practice to achieve something, but as a way of being that allows you to touch the depth and richness of existence with clarity and openness. And this mindful presence becomes a source of strength and clarity that guides your actions and decisions with wisdom born not from thought alone, but from direct experience. It is this wisdom that frees you from the repetitive patterns of the past and opens the door to new possibilities that arise spontaneously when you are not caught in the web of mental distraction. To live fully now is to step out of the illusion of separation created by the mind and to realize your interconnectedness with all life, which awakens a deep compassion and empathy that flows naturally from the heart and enriches every relationship and interaction, turning life into a shared journey rather than a solitary struggle. This connectedness, you find that the urgency to grasp or control fades away, replaced by a gentle flow of trust and acceptance that allows life to unfold as it will, while you remain rooted in the vibrant presence of this moment. Ultimately, living fully now is not a destination but an ever-present invitation to engage with life in its totality, without holding back or waiting for permission. And when you answer this invitation, you discover a depth of joy, freedom, and a liveliness that no external circumstance can diminish because it arises from within, from the simple yet profound choice to be here, fully and completely, in this moment, embracing life as it is, moment by moment. Without ENT, procrastination is like a silent thief that steals the precious moments of your life. While you convince yourself that there will always be more time tomorrow to do what really matters, but tomorrow is not guaranteed. And every delay creates a gap between your intentions and your reality, where opportunity, growth, and fulfillment quietly slip away without notice, leaving behind only regret and the heavy weight of what might have been if only you had acted sooner. This gap grows larger with each postponed action, and in that space, the potential for transformation is lost. When you procrastinate, you are not just delaying tasks, you are postponing your own life and the experiences that come with fully engaging in the present. Because procrastination is rooted in fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, or fear of the unknown. And these fears build invisible walls around you, keeping you separate from your own power and possibility. The longer you wait, the more these fears grow, feeding on your hesitation until they become barriers so tall and thick that the very thought of starting becomes overwhelming, and so the cycle continues, feeding on itself and pulling you deeper into inactivity. Consequences of procrastination extend beyond missed deadlines or unfinished work because they affect your self-trust and your relationship with yourself. Getting a silent inner conflict, don't delay. And this conflict chips away at your confidence, leaving you feeling stuck and powerless in moments when you most need to be alive and decisive. This erosion of trust does not stay confined to one area of life, it spills over into your relationships, your dreams, and your overall sense of well-being, slowly dimming the spark of enthusiasm that once fueled your actions and ambitions. Procrastination also steals from the richness of experience by preventing you from fully engaging in the present moment, as your mind remains caught in a web of a letter and not now. There is disconnection from the immediacy of life's unfolding and the lessons embedded in it. So you miss the chance to learn, grow, and deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. This disconnection can lead to feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction as you become a spectator of your own life rather than an active participant watching opportunities pass by while you wait for a perfect moment that never arrives. Every act of procrastination is a choice to live in a diminished version of life where fear and hesitation dictate your reality. And this choice, repeated over time, creates a habit that is difficult to break because habits become the mind's comfort zone, even if that comfort zone is filled with frustration and regret. Breaking free requires a radical shift in awareness, a willingness to face discomfort, and the courage to act despite uncertainty. Knowing that action itself is the antidote to the paralysis of delay and the gateway to reclaiming your life and your dreams. The consequences of procrastination are not just internal, but manifest outwardly in missed opportunities and unfinished projects, which can create a ripple effect in your personal and professional life, affecting your credibility, your relationships, and your future possibilities. Because the world responds to your actions or lack thereof. And when you consistently delay, you send a message to yourself and others that you are not fully committed to your own growth or to the responsibilities you hold. This message can close doors, damage trust, and limit your ability to create the life you desire, often leaving you wondering why your potential remains unfulfilled. Yet, within the weight of procrastination lies the seed of liberation, because awareness of its consequences can spark a profound desire for change, reminding you that every moment is an opportunity to step out of hesitation and into presence, and that with each small act of courage, you dismantle the walls that hold you back, reclaiming the energy and focus needed to live authentically and fully. This journey is not about perfection or never faltering, but about recognizing the cost of delay and choosing, moment by moment, to move forward with intention and commitment, knowing that the path of action leads to growth and freedom. Ultimately, procrastination is a thief not only of time but of life itself. And the only way to reclaim what has been lost is to awaken to the urgency of now, to embrace the discomfort of beginning, and to understand that the consequences of delay extend far beyond unfinished tasks. They touch the very fabric of your being, your joy, and your ability to experience the fullness of life as it unfolds in this precious and fleeting moment without end. Awakening to reality is not a sudden event, but a gradual peeling away of the layers of illusion that the mind has built around itself, where the stories, beliefs, and distractions that once defined your existence begin to dissolve, revealing the raw, unfiltered experience of life as it truly is beyond your thoughts and judgments. And in this unveiling, you come face to face with the infinite presence that has always been here, quietly waiting for you to see beyond the veils of mental noise and conditioning. This awakening is an invitation to live without the filters of expectation and attachment, allowing reality to speak to you directly in its purest form, untouched by your desires or fears. When you awaken to reality, you realize that much of what you held as truth was merely a construction of the mind designed to protect and control. And this realization can be both liberating and unsettling, because it shakes the foundation of certainty and comfort you once relied upon. But beyond this shaking lies a deeper stability, a vast stillness that is not dependent on circumstances or ideas, but arises from direct experience and acceptance of what is, without resistance or denial. This stillness is not emptiness but fullness, a presence so alive and vibrant that it transforms the way you engage with everything around you, dissolving the boundaries between self and other. Awakening to reality is also a journey into awareness where you learn to witness your thoughts, emotions, and sensations without becoming entangled in them. And in this witnessing, a space opens up that is spacious, calm, and clear, allowing you to respond to life from a place of wisdom rather than reactivity. This space is the doorway to freedom, because when you're not caught in the habitual patterns of the mind, you can choose how to engage with each moment, seeing clearly what is necessary and what is simply mental clutter that no longer serves your well-being. This awakening brings a profound shift in perception, where the dualities of right and wrong, good and bad, success and failure begin to lose their grip on your mind. And you start to see life as a whole, a continuous unfolding, where every experience, no matter how challenging or joyful, is part of the same dance of existence that invites you to participate fully without judgment or expectation. In this participation, you find a deep sense of peace and acceptance that transcends circumstance and connects you to the flow of life itself, a flow that is always moving, always changing, and yet always present. To awaken to reality is to confront the impermanence and uncertainty that lie at the heart of existence. And rather than turning away or trying to control these truths, you learn to embrace them with openness and courage. Knowing that true freedom comes not from clinging to what is comfortable, but from facing the unknown with a steady heart and an open mind. This embrace dissolves fear and resistance, replacing them with trust and resilience that support you in navigating the ever-changing landscape of life with grace and awakening to reality also deepens your connection to yourself and others because as you shed illusions, you begin to see the shared humanity and interconnectedness that underlie all appearances. And this recognition fosters compassion, empathy, and a genuine desire to be present for others without judgment or expectation, creating relationships rooted in authenticity and love. In this way, awakening is not just a personal transformation, but a movement toward collective awakening, where each moment of presence ripples outward, touching and uplifting the world around you. This awakening calls for a continual practice of returning to the present moment, remembering that reality is not a concept to be understood intellectually but a living experience to be felt deeply, moment by moment, breath by breath. And in this return, you cultivate a habit of presence that becomes your natural state, a refuge from the chaos of the mind and the distractions of the world. And from this refuge, you engage with life more fully, more honestly, and more joyfully than ever before. Ultimately, awakening to reality is the profound recognition that life is not waiting for you somewhere else or sometime later. It is here, now, in this very moment. And when you open yourself to this truth without hesitation or denial, you discover a depth of freedom, peace, and aliveness that cannot be taken away, a reality so vast and intimate that it holds you in its embrace endlessly and without end.